seen a fish perched in a tree? Have you ever seen a sheep grazing in the water? Of course, you have never seen it, because fish cannot survive out of water, selfless. The answer is, in the Lifechanyuan Communist Life Program. When communism is mentioned, many people instinctively scoff at it. The reason is very simple: they don't know what communism is, don't understand communism at all, have never lived with the procedures of communism, and have never seen communism with their own eyes. Their knowledge and understanding of communism are just prejudiced concepts that are based on hearsay. As the saying goes, facts speak louder than words. If you want to understand communism accurately and clearly, then go to experience and feel it in the second home that is based on Lifechanyuan communism, the life that was created by Lifechanyuan. The second home that was established by Lifechanyuan began on April 18, 2009. Although it has experienced a series of hardships, it still has a tenacious vitality and still exists on this earth. Why is it that it has been devastated many times and still exists? The reason is that a group of people who have personally participated in the construction of the second home and lived in it understand that Lifechanyuan communism is the highest state of life. It is like a person climbing up Mount Everest, standing on the commanding heights of the earth and looking down at the mountains and peaks of the world. It is also like a person who has tasted succulent peaches, fairy peaches, and can no longer be interested in other peaches, and they will no longer be interested in other production and life modes until the day they die. Except for the Lifechanyuan communist life, any other production and life modes cannot arouse their interest, so Lifechanyuan communism will continue to exist and eventually become the ultimate life mode for human beings. Hark back to the subject: how can a person be unselfish and selfless and climb to the highest state of life? Undoubtedly, fish on trees and sheep in water not only cannot climb to the highest state of life, but this will also lead to their deaths. Similarly, people in secular society cannot climb to the highest state of life. The highest state of secular society is nothing more than becoming a billionaire, becoming a president, or winning a Nobel Prize to go down in history. But the life realm of billionaires, presidents, and celebrities is thousands of miles away from the state of being unselfish and selfless, and it is less possible for ordinary people to climb to this highest state of life. Readers may have doubts or objections to the above conclusions. There is a way to remove your doubts and objections, and that is to find someone other than Christ Jesus and Buddha Shakyamuni to prove where your doubts and objections stand. Can you find someone who is unselfish and selfless enough to have nothing but who can live a carefree life? Can't find it? However, if you look for it in Lifechanyuan communism, you will find that most members are unselfish, selfless, and have nothing, but also live happily, joyously, freely, and blessedly. How do they do it? Why can't you find an unselfish and selfless person in the secular program, but find that most members are unselfish and selfless in the Lifechanyuan communist life? There is only one answer, that is, the soil of this life is completely different, or the procedures of this life are completely different. In the worldly program of life, if you are unselfish, you simply cannot exist. In the Lifechanyuan communist life program, if you are selfish, there is no place for you at all. It can be exaggerated to say that if an angel enters the procedure of secular life, he is very likely to become a devil. If a devil enters the procedure of Lifechanyuan communism, it is very likely that he will become an angel. The reason is very simple, and the sages have known it for a long time. It's like entering a room full of fragrant orchids and getting used to the sweet smell, staying in a fish market and getting used to the stink. The conclusion is that if you want to climb to the highest state of life, you must put your heart and soul into the Lifechanyuan communist life program. There is no other way to accomplish this. You will have everything when you keep Lifechanyuan values. Lifechanyuan. July 6, 2008. Share a warm family with many brothers, sisters, and relatives. Our community has everything that the traditional family has plus everything that the traditional family could never have. Share many talented, handsome, beautiful, passionate, civilized, and elegant friends, lovers, and confidants. You might just yell, "Wow, life is so beautiful," you could not get enough of this even if you lived a cat's 9 lives. Enjoy the second home, now new oasis for life, of the paradisiacal Lifechanyuan, where everything is as the thousand-year world and you will be happier than in your wildest dreams. Share your joy with many lovely, lively, humorous, entertaining, cheerful, and pure-hearted people. Enjoy having caring, considerate, unpaid angel nurses when you are sick in the ideal environment to enable you to recover as quickly as possible and to regenerate unlimited vitality. Spend your final years in peace with many caring brothers and sisters looking after all your needs and being able to leave this world happily without regrets and pass on to your next existence cheerfully. Recover easily from any natural or man-made disaster, and when you are frustrated and desperate about your future, you will take a quick turn for the better, enter a new field, get a new life, rekindle hope, and radiate youthful vitality. Enjoy spiritual, soulful, and material abundance and no longer suffer from anxiety, melancholy, or fear, or worry about your future. Lead an especially colorful and interesting life of playing the zither to welcome the sunrise, blowing the flute to send off the sunset, waking in the middle of night and thinking of art, and walking along winding paths through secluded gorges. Have someone guide you into a meditation room to practice detachment from mortal life. Meditate so as to obtain supreme, authentic wisdom with 64 magical powers, reach the 5th level of meditation, and experience a wonderful reality. Receive oral teachings from the saints of Yin and Yang and the 4 heavenly kings, and being able to understand the teachings of Christ and Buddha quickly and becoming a master of the generation after digesting their teachings thoroughly. Understand everything in the thousand-year world. Your consciousness will soon resonate with the consciousness of the celestial beings who live there, and when the time is right, you will pass directly there to enjoy fully the infinite beauty of life. Travel around the most magnificent scenery in the universe, taste magical melons and fruits, learn to fly through the sky, and always remain beautiful and refreshed for up to 30,000 years in the 10,000-year world. Go to the Elysium Celestial Islands continent to create anything out of nothing and transform your own celestial island planet the size of Earth, at will for billions of years where you will be the king to do whatever you want and to furthermore share infinite and endless fun with hundreds of millions of super celestial beings. What else do you want after? If the ignorant masses do not laugh at it, it is not Tao. Do you not believe me? Okay, then you should forget Chanyuan values, try to find Tao your own way, and see what you will have in the end. Symbols of the Lifechanyuan era. Xiefeng. First, let us understand these 8 characteristics of the era in which we are living. The current era of humanity is one of disorder. It is an era of nationalities, political parties, religions, races, countries, and other interest groups fighting with each other, both overtly and covertly. It is an era of people mostly pursuing material comfort but ultimately falling apart. It is an era in which the winners make the rules while the losers suffer, with all power flowing from the barrels of guns. It is an era of countries being controlled by separatist regimes through the force of arms. It is an era that is locked in a seesaw struggle between truth, goodness, and beauty, against falsity, evil, and ugliness, with the latter gaining the upper hand. It is an era in which people are confused with gloomy hearts and souls, decadent spirits, anxious minds, and unable to see the trend of future developments. In one sentence, it is an era under Satan's reign. The new Lifechanyuan era can be characterized by the following 8 major qualities. The disappearance of countries. The disappearance of religions. The disappearance of political parties. The disappearance of families. The disappearance of war, crime, hunger, and disease. A shift from the pursuit of material comfort to that of spiritual satisfaction. The production and life of people everywhere will be steered by saints and managed by sages. Knowledge of the greatest Creator will take root in society and we will live in a harmonious and orderly manner with nature and other advanced lives in the universe. Beyond those, there are these 8 additional features. Deserts will become oases. The orders of, no one will pocket anything found on the ground and doors are not bolted at night, will become normal. People will trust, respect, and love each other mutually as members of a single family. The weather will usually be favorable, with distinct seasons and natural calamities such as earthquakes and storms being greatly reduced. The evil practice of judging human dignity by money, power, and fame will be reversed. The forms of love between men and women will diversify. The lifespans of people will be extended to about half a millennium. The manner and time of one's death will be basically era will be created by the academicians of Lifechanyuan. In this new era, the human population may decline sharply while countless extinct species reappear. The world, including the air, water, and land, will purify and restore to its pre-human state. This era will belong to those who have devoted painstaking efforts throughout their lives to revering nature, life, the greatest creator, and humanity. The Lifechanyuan era will last for a millennium, after which time people will enter into another era. People with spiritual senses will certainly perceive the magnitude of this era and will strive for it. People without them will find this statement ridiculous, ignorant, nonsensical, and even whimsical. The arrival of the Lifechanyuan era will not be altered by anyone's will but is the inevitable evolution of life. It is the law and order of Tao. We will enter into this era if we follow Tao, otherwise we will be abandoned by it. We say with certainty that future academicians of Lifechanyuan will be brilliant and capable. The All-Rounder's Sorrow. Xiefeng. December 3, 2021. There are some people in the human race who are all-rounders. They understand everything and can do everything. They are geniuses. But for 99.9% of people, to become an all-rounder, it takes time and energy to learn, to practice, and to put their skills into practice. The problem is that life is short, but principles and skills are unlimited. It is not easy to become an all-rounder in this limited period of life. People's talents are just like their looks. People are different. It is impossible to make yourself look like everyone else. Only by giving total commitment to your strengths will be the best choice to go forward on the journey of life. The sad thing is that to survive in human society, most people are not using their strengths, but passively doing jobs that they are not good at, and their true nature cannot flourish, or the law of survival in society forces them to engage in jobs they don't like, to engage in a variety of different jobs, to become an all-rounder. When becoming an all-rounder, many do not realize that it takes much time and energy to study and become an apprentice. As a result, most people lack a true professional skill. They can do many things but are not proficient in any. They know everything, but don't understand anything thoroughly, and they cannot become the best in the field of work that they are engaged in. Also, they have to give up the opportunity to enjoy life because of forcing themselves to study and put their skills into practice. In the end, when they find that they are accomplishing nothing and are just struggling to survive, they will hate themselves for being incompetent and will lose confidence in themselves and will lose their longing for a better future. Are we doing what we like? Did we choose it ourselves? Is it what you are good at? Is it your favorite? For most people, the answer is definitely no. We are like a drop of water, being propelled forward by the tide of society. We can't choose by ourselves, whether we like it or not. To survive, we have to do this or that. This is not only a sorrow for individuals, but also a sorrow for mankind. Of course, the social system is different, everyone's degree of freedom is different, the range of work they can choose is also different, and the opportunities to show the abilities that they are good at are also different, but overall, most people are always passive and helpless. They work not to live, but primarily to survive. From my personal life experience, I am engaged in the work I like and am good at only when I live in the second home, and the rest of the time, I am forced to do this or that by the tide of the times and the situation of reality. I am a sad all-rounder. I have been engaged in more than 20 kinds of jobs, such as shepherd, farmer, fitter, clerical assistant, accountant, statistician, teacher, power generation worker, office director, translator, sales clerk, purchaser, salesman, manager, secretary, laundryman, cleaner, receptionist, cook, civil servant in government departments, businessman, small boss, etc. I have lived abroad for more than 20 years, and I run around for survival, all depending on myself. I have to do all the trivial things by myself, even fixing leaking water pipes, the roof, the blocking of sewers, going out for purchasing, etc. And what is the result? Now it can be said that I am good at nothing, and nothing I did has reached a first-class level. How do you turn a tragic life into a comedy? How can everyone engage in a job that they are good at and love for the rest of their lives? How do you let everyone have leisure time to entertain and play, to enjoy the beauty of life and the joy of life? While going to the heaven and hell, I finally found the answer, which is to copy the life pattern of the 1,000-year world of heaven. On this earth, there is a place called the second home, where everyone chooses a job that they like and are good at, and they don't need to worry about anything else. They don't need to think about supporting the elderly and raising children, let alone cooking and washing after meals, because there is a particular person who will worry about this. And after finishing what you are doing every day, the rest of your time is a time of entertainment and play. This is what can be called a human life, and it is also the most perfect way of life in the world. Do you want life to be simple, easy, full of joy, without worries and pains, and become